My most life-changing event was when I married Mr. Ramon. It changed my life because everything that has happened since then would never have happened had I not married him. Having children, moving around the world, teaching in England, all of the adventures that I've had since are all because I married Mr. Ramon.
The biggest one was in 1991. I lost my dad, and I didn't really pay attention to the fact that nobody's guaranteed any days. I was saying goodbye to him. They always headed up north to New York State for the summer, and I had two very small twins and a crazy older sister that was running around my ankles. And Dad came up to me and he said, "Well, I guess I'll see you later." And I said, yep, I'll see you later. And I didn't stop long enough to tell him what he already knew, was that I love him. And he died up north, and I never had a chance to say goodbye to him. So the biggest thing that did to me was make me understand that you might not have another chance to tell somebody how important they are to you, so that you seize those moments whenever they're available to you, and you never leave someone without letting them know that they're important to you. There's a lot of things that are understood between you and friends and you and family, but it really is an awful feeling to get on the other side of that and not have the opportunity to say it one more time. So it kind of comes full circle, because I just lost my mom this month. I had scads of time to tell her all the things I wanted to tell my dad. But I hope what happens is when you see me in class, you understand that I like to lock eyes with you and to tell you when you've done good things. That has made me more appreciative of life, because we are not guaranteed any days. Never, ever, ever. And so when you have people that matter to you, it's important to tell them that they matter to you. And I try and live my life that way.
It's when I finally got my citizenship, which took me probably 20 years to get it, and how it affected me. It was just wonderful feeling to finally become a citizen. And why it took me so long? Because I had 3 kids and I was too busy to study. And I finally did it, and it just changed everything.
Most life-changing event and why?
My most life-changing event is when my Aunt Trin died from stage 4 melanoma cancer. And it's my most life-changing event because now every night before I go to bed, I make sure to tell my parents how much I love and appreciate them, because I never know when my last day with them will be.
And the funnier one is, in 9th grade, I had a wonderful, wacky biology teacher. And she was very demanding, and she was very wacky. Bleach blonde hair, little bow always up in the side, and her name was Mrs. Andres. And there was one day that I was being less than my best, and I was being a little goofy, and the woman looked at me straight up and said, "Would you please use your head for something more than growing hair samples on?" Now you think that might be harsh, but actually it kind of brought me back to the fact that I was really kind of not paying full attention to life. And if it was something that I was interested in, I should do nothing more than give it my best. So that's the second thing, and probably is the person that kind of leaned me towards science and biology and made me really appreciate it.
And why?
Okay. A couple of years ago, I was on a trip to Costa Rica, and I was with some students, and we were working in a kind of a shanty town of people who had been sent out of Nicaragua. And we worked with a few people. Well, one of them was an old woman who lived in this house that was really made of everything that you could find on the street: cardboard, rocks, cinder blocks, anything. And we totally remodeled her house. By remodeled meaning we cleaned out everything and took out all of this unbelievably dirty, decrepit stuff. And the kids and I worked so hard. We cut up our hands. We destroyed ourselves for like a week. And when I came, when she was just so pleased and so happy with what we'd done, that was kind of life-changing, in that when I came home and I realized that I needed to be really happy for what I had. So every time I became very upset, or every time that I've been sad since I've done that, I always think back to that and think how difficult it can be for other people, and that gratitude is really important for happiness and realizing that things could be worse and that you should be thankful for what you have. And that's all.
And why?
Probably when I moved from Ohio to Florida, because I had to give up all my old friends in school and I had to move here and make new friends and find new schools, which took a lot.
My most life-changing event would probably have to be when I was about 8. Every summer my cousins, including my aunt and uncle, would come down and visit in Venice, and by the end of every day when I had to go home, my aunt would try and, she would say I love you and then try and hug me, and every time I'd like run away from her or get around her, so I never hugged her or said I love you. And then the next year around Christmas time, she was in a car crash and was killed instantly, and I really wish I was able to say I love you to her or hug her, because I really never did that and I never got to acknowledge my aunt.
And why?
My most life-changing event is probably moving about 5 times, and because I had to adapt to new friends and adapt to like my environment, adapt to where I'm living, and adapt to like my family, like where they live, different places and stuff.
Why?
My most life-changing event was when my best friend died from brain cancer when I was 8. And this was life-changing because it showed me that anybody can die. Anyone can die young or old. So you have to appreciate what you have.
And why?
My most life-changing event is meeting this kid. He makes my life just shine up every single time he walks in the room. Like, he has a mini stapler. How can you not love that?
My most life-changing event was probably going to nerd camp at Lake Forest, because I realized that I'm not really as cool as I thought I was, and that I'm actually kind of a nerd. And now I have tons of friends that live all over the country that are nerdier than I actually got told that I was the least nerdy person there like twice, so that was good. But I've always been afraid to leave home for a long time. I get really homesick to leave my family and friends, but I stayed there for like a month and I like didn't get homesick at all.
I'll put you on the map, I'll cure you of disease.